Hey there, leighmartinuzzi here from the Hidden Why podcast. Hope you're having a fantastic week. Using a different tripod today, hence the slightly different location. Wanted to quickly chat to you today about happiness, and I touched on this at the end of last week. I wanted to continue, but I ran out of time and I didn't do another post last week, so apologies for that. But again, continuing on this path of happiness, and I love this topic because I think it's something that's driven a lot of my desires, behaviors, and choices in life, and certainly trying to figure out what is the meaning of life and what is happiness. What does that mean to me individually? And so I wanted to break this down because I've sort of touched on a few different elements of that last Thursday, I think it was. And I've come up with what I call the ultimate life map. Now, it's a map of how I think we can live more fully, have more meaning, and find more joy. And there's three elements that I call the essential elements, and elements that are fundamental, I believe, to all of us through the research I've done, through the podcast interviews, been running for a decade now. And there's three areas that I think really can uplift one's level of happiness. And they have to, again, bigger picture of the map, they have to relate to the individual person's why. And those three areas are health, growth, and relationships. And I think they're fundamental to all of us. And if you can aim to understand what health looks like in your life currently and what your ideal level of health looks like, and then work to create a plan to allow you to live into more of that daily, that will raise your level of happiness. Same with growth again. So if you look at growth activities, things that are pushing you forward, things that are helping you have progress, if you really look at those things in your life, where they are now and where you'd like to see yourself, this is why I'm a big believer of having a vision of your future self, a 5-year vision, a 3-year vision, maybe a 10-year vision. Look, things change and your values change as well, and that vision will obviously change as you go. But as it relates to growth, making sure you're having those growth activities daily. Now, that doesn't have to be just related to your career advancement. It can be just learning something. Like my coach recently sort of suggested that, pick something every month that you can just sink your teeth into. And that might be learning about, how to grow broccoli. It might be researching past wars. Whatever excites you, whatever allows you to have that feeling of growth, that will obviously raise your level of happiness as well. And then the final one, and I think this is hugely important in society today and something that's severely lacking and could potentially get a lot worse, and that is the relationships, our ability to connect, our ability to have belonging. That, for me, is a fundamental pillar. And if you don't have those relationships in your life, and it doesn't have to be hundreds of likes on social media, that's not what I'm talking about here. It's not about the online digital relationships that people are sort of delving into more nowadays. It's belly to belly, face to face relationships, human connection. And the science has proven that actually does make you happier, and it does actually help you live longer as well. So those three things are really the three things that I want to sort of talk about this week. I just wanted to touch on them today because I think the first thing you can do if you're interested in improving your level of happiness, and I'm talking from a deep sense of happiness in life, a deep sense of fulfillment, spend some time writing those 3 points down and just assess what does it mean to you. I can see my camera slightly tilting now. Write those things down, journal about it, health, growth, and happiness, and how do they look to you in life right now? Where do you see yourself going with that? Would you like to see yourself going with that? And what are the things daily that actually you could do, and you can reflect in the past on these things, that would help you live into more of that value whilst also improving it? So, what could you do today around health? What could you do today around those relationships? What could you do today around growth? And I think if you can do a little bit of each of those every day, you're going to feel more accomplished at the end of the day. You're going to feel more happy at the end of the day. And that's what it's all about. Living more fully, having more meaning, and finding more joy. We'll talk soon.